Hey guys, Enigma here, and I know I haven't posted a video in a while, especially a tutorial type video. So today in this video, I want to talk about a trend I've noticed among beginner animators. And it's better if I show you rather than explain. So I'm going to use this animation to illustrate what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. This is an animation I animated yesterday. Alright, I'll just go ahead and play it once more. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I notice among beginner animators using the same animation. Bam, see that? So what I notice among a lot of beginner animators is that they'll tend to animate everything on ones. There's no sense of timing or spacing or easing in and easing out. And that's why when I look at beginner animator stuff, it all looks like super fast, like everything is like, you know, you're pressing fast forward, you know, and everything is just moving at like 2 times or even sometimes 4 times speed. And the reason why is because beginner animators don't have an understanding of timing, spacing, easing in and easing out, and arcs. Those are, I would say, among the principles of animations. In order to get smooth or fluid animation, you need to understand those principles, all right? Or else you end up with something like this.
Stop calling.
So that was a clip from Metal Gear Awesome, which is an animation done by Egoraptor, who's an OG web animator from back in the day. I'll post a link to the original video in the description below so you guys can check out the entire video. But this is from one of his earlier animations. And just by watching it, I can tell that this was clearly animated on ones. And the thing I've noticed among beginner animators is that they think that they have to animate everything on ones. Now, when I say ones, this is exactly what I mean. So if we look at our timeline down here, these are your frames, right? And ones, when I say ones, basically what I mean is it's animated on 1 frame versus animating on 2 frames. So to simplify it even further, basically one drawing is on a frame versus if I do it on 2s, it means that that drawing is held for 2 frames instead of 1 frame, right? And a lot of beginner animators think that if you have each drawing only on 1 frame, and I've made the same mistake as well, that the animation will look smoother. But that's usually not the case. Because in that clip I just showed you, there really wasn't a sense of timing, spacing, or easing in and easing out. There was some exaggeration, which is another principle of animation, but when professional animators do exaggeration, they exaggerate it correctly. Because in that clip, it looked like everything wasn't, you know, on model. It was kind of like the proportions were kind of warping and morphing, and it wasn't consistent. So that brings us to arcs, because if you follow an arc, your animation for the most part will stay consistent. And there are also other methods for keeping your characters on model, such as the point-to-point method. So here, you know what? Let me just go ahead and actually show you guys what I'm talking about rather than like explaining it. So, all right. Let me get my tablet out here. I thought I had it on, but apparently not. That's fine. Let me go ahead and turn this on. Okay. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna start at frame 44, right? So if I have, well, we'll just do a simple circle here, right? So yeah, this circle here, right? So this is my keyframe on frame 44, right? Now, if I were to animate everything on ones, right? Let's just go ahead and do this in real time. And you know what? Let me go ahead and move this to a separate layer. That way we won't really have an issue with the text popping up on the onion skin. So let me go ahead and remove these frames. Okay, good. And we'll turn on onion skin again, bring this back here, and we will go to, we're gonna insert a blank frame here, and we'll go to the next frame. All right, so I have this on 44, so the next frame, which is gonna be on a 1, is 45, right? And so we'll just draw the circle here. Oh, actually, I'll just try to keep it consistent, right? Like that, right? So what I'll do is I'm gonna animate the whole thing on ones, all right? Meaning that I'm gonna, this whole animation is like each drawing is going to be held for 1 frame. That's essentially what animating on ones means, is that you have a drawing, right? Because each frame is a drawing. So when you have it on ones, means that each drawing will only be held for 1 frame. That's essentially what it means. So let's just go ahead and do a crazy stretch like that. Add a little streak towards the end here, right? Insert blank keyframe. Oh, wait. Make sure you're on this one. Insert blank. And also, if you're using Adobe Animate, you can use this to make your timeline bigger, which is what I do. And it helps out a lot instead of having a default like this where it's super tiny. I'm using Adobe Animate version 2018. All right, so we have this drawing. And if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to leave a comment down below. So we have it stretching. Let's have it squashing here. All right. We'll just have it squash here. Hang on, just redraw that. We'll just have it, just draw an oval, right? Like that. Like that. And then you can also hit F7 to insert a blank keyframe. And I'll have it squash a little bit more. Alright, just a tad more. Like this. And then hit F7 again. And we'll just do like a huge crash here, like this. Alright. Like this, alright? Now, well, I'm gonna go ahead and play this, right? So you have this here, this is your loop icon, and it's gonna loop the animation. So I'll go ahead and play this. This is on ones, meaning that each drawing is held for 1 frame. All right. So it doesn't look that bad on ones, right? However, this could look a lot better if we were to use something called hold frames, right? Hold frames. All right. Essentially, a hold frame is when you hold a drawing for a couple of frames. So let's go back to our timeline, right? And in fact, you know what, let me move this on a different layer so that way it doesn't interfere. Insert blank keyframe. I'm doing all this in real time. So just cut this here, move it up here, paste in place, right? Go ahead and lock it. All right, I'll just bring this here, insert frame. Okay, it's locked. Okay, good. So hold frames, right? So you see how everything is on ones, right? Ideally, when you do hold frames, you're holding that drawing for more than one frame. So what I'm gonna do is I might as well show you guys on the timeline. So we have this on frame 44, right? If we want to do a hold frame, we can do hold frames on 2s, right? Which means that we have this drawing held for 2 frames. So we have this drawing on frame 44 and frame 45. We can also have it on, on 3s, meaning this drawing will be on frames 44, 45, and 46. We can even go all the way up to 4s. Man, I can't even get a slash. I might as well have typed this, but anyway. We can even have it on 4s, right? Hang on. All right. So we can right click, hit insert frame, or F5 on the keyboard, insert frame, and now it's on frame 44 all the way to frame 47. So 44, 45, 46, and 47. Your frame counter is down here, by the way, towards the bottom. All right. And that's basically what hold frames are. And the reason you have hold frames is going back to easing in and easing out, right? So when you ease in, let's say you have this motion, right? It's going like this, everything is even, right? And then you want it to slow down. So what you do is you have your drawings spaced closer together, and eventually they'll start overlapping, right? And what you want to do also is you want to have these frames held for longer. So you can have let's say all of these frames here, right? These could all be on 1s or even 2s, right? And it'll be even, okay? But then once you start getting to these frames here, right? You can have these on 3s or 4s, depending, on your frame rate and depending on how many drawings you have, and also to a certain degree your personal preference, because animating is actually akin to music. So everyone does have their personal preferences. So if any of you guys out there play music and you know about sheet music and the different notes, the quarter notes, half notes, think of hold frames and everything I'm explaining here in terms of musical notation. You know what I mean? So this is sort of like your musical notation, right? Think of it like that. right? You got your musical notations like this, right? So it's sort of like that. So let's go back to this example. So let's just have this one on 3s. So this is on frame 44 to frame 46. So going back here, we're gonna do ease out, which is the opposite of this, where it starts out slow but then speeds up. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do here. So we have this here at on 3s, and then this here, I'll go ahead and put this on 2s, right? This, since it's like a streak frame or a smear frame, I'm gonna leave this on 1s. And usually when you're animating, I recommend having your streaks and smears on 1s to convey that it's moving very fast. And then this, I'll have this on a 2. And this I'll also have on a 2. And then this, you know, I'll leave on a, actually I'll have this on 2 as well. So I have this on 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. That's my pattern. All right. And this follows a straight arc, but usually in nature, nothing really moves like in a straight arc unless it's mechanical. So most things in nature will move like in an arc like this, like, you know, a curve like this. And in earlier videos, I recommend when you're doing your arcs to actually draw out the arc and have it on a separate layer. I usually like to do my arcs in red and actually, you know, draw like these little tracks here and put your drawings on these tracks so that you stay, you know, literally on track with your arc. So anyway, let's go ahead and just play this. And already to me, this is looking better because I'm having it ease out. So yeah, that's basically gonna be it for me, guys. Just remember, hold frames. Don't animate everything on 1s, okay? And in fact, it's not gonna make your animation look smoother if you animate everything on 1s. It all comes down to these principles here, right? To get a smooth, fluid animation, it's your spacing. It's your timing, your spacing, your arcs, your ease in and your ease out. All right, guys, I hope this video helped. I recommend, you know, practicing doing an exercise similar to this, the one I've just showed you, and experimenting with hold frames. I'm animating at 24 FPS, which is the standard here for North America. You can animate at 30 FPS. It really doesn't matter as long as you understand these principles and you apply them to your animation. It's gonna look more quote unquote professional. So anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for me. If you like what you've seen, I'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I also have a Discord channel that I started, and I'll link that down below. And I want to thank you all for watching. I hope this helps you guys out. If anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. All right, guys, Enigma out.